So we have a resumption of our Palermo rivalry today. Silvio Baldini on his way for another Sicilian derby, or football derby as we like to call it. And here we go. So here we are at Zafferana now for the latest instalment. You can see we have a few changes to our team. Tonti is still in, but you can see a few players who've come in recently who have perhaps not been staples before. And the good news, actually, before I move on to this, is that it seems to have borne fruit. We did lose our last game against Bari, but interesting to note we were 2-0 up at half time there. It's becoming a little bit of a habit, this losing to Bari, having been ahead. Happened twice last year. I think they were both draws. But twice last year we were ahead and didn't win, and then 2-0 up, losing 5-2 in the end. But we are, we got, before that we had six wins in 7. So things are going fairly well. And if we can beat Palermo today, and it's starting to look like the playoffs should be fairly secure. It's a question now of whether we can move up and how far we can move up. If we can get 4th, I think I'd be fairly happy with that. Certainly a points record would be on the cards if we can. Well, certainly if we can win this one, I would think it's on the cards. It's a long way to go yet, obviously. Donnarumma to Ogier, Gandolfo. De Rose shoots, and De Rose actually has. What's happened? Sorry, I got distracted there because my one of my other videos has just premiered. I'm recording this a little ahead of time, which is hence the slight distraction there. Palermo take the lead, which would take them ahead of us, which is a worry. I want to finish above them for sure. Not really pressing them as much as I'd like. How much pressing have we got on? Should be pressing a bit more. Vittorini to Gut, Trajkovic, Castelli and Sassi. This is a very nice interplay, and Capani makes it 1-1. That's good. And maybe this was just a blip. We haven't. No, in fact, I'm sure we haven't yet lost to Palermo. We have drawn a couple against them, but we haven't yet lost. Capani on the outside, gets the ball in, finds Sassi, but too wide. And Daniels is shot in from a ridiculous angle. Was not expecting that. Sassi to Daniels, and it's 2-1. We turned this around in the first half. Definitely was not expecting that, so that's very good news. Right, so here we are at half time, and we have been by far the better team. We've just had that one shot and 0.05 XG, so we were unlucky to be behind, and now we are not. So that's all good. Let's try and keep this up in the second half. Get ourselves another win against, I'm going to call them the old enemy, but they're starting to look like whipping boys at the moment, because we're beating them so often. As I say, they haven't yet beaten us, I don't think. Let me just check that. I think that's true, that they haven't yet beaten us. No, you can see here, we've beaten them twice, and they got a draw against us in April of last year, so almost a year ago. It's not a record we definitely want to try and protect and improve on by getting a 3rd win, making it a 75% win record rather than just 66% or 67%. Right, time to start making some time-wasting substitutions. Nesta comes on, probably my most common substitution at the moment, bringing Nesta on. Celli to Daniels. Celli, can he get the ball in? He can. Nesta heads it, and he can't quite get the follow-up into the goal. Spagnoli now. Anastasio. De Rose into Pella. Passing it around neatly. Spagnoli, are they going to equalise? No. Guti takes it away. Gut takes it away, but unfortunately, that might be offside. Shakir was there. Is it going to be offside? No, it doesn't look like it. Looks like he's going to be on. Yeah, he probably was, to be fair. Let's bring on the Ultramarine for Sassi. And Paolini can make way for Deramo. I think also while we're at it, we'll bring off Celli for Sperotto. Looks like we're going to fail at our attempt to beat them again, but at least keeping them behind us by getting the draw. So we can get a late winner here. Vittorini crosses it, and the Ultramarine's there, and we have got the late winner. What a way to finish this off. This game off with a very, very late winner against Palermo. We are going to finish this video off with a little bit of look at our youth intake, and depending on how good they are, we may even have another game with, well, featuring 1 or 2 of them. But I think I'll probably only have another game if we have a couple that I feel like could go in for a game or 2 to begin with. That is really good, though, to get that late win. Gotta like a late win. That's fantastic from us. And starting to look now that Right, we could push up through that table and get, I think realistically it's probably fourth is going to be the best chance we have, but if we could push up to second, it's not completely impossible. 14.7 games, it's very unlikely, but it's not completely impossible. That would certainly be a stretch target. So as you can see, we are getting a little bit more consistency now. We've managed to get 7 wins from 9, and that's a big improvement on earlier in the season where we were getting the odd win here and there. So if I think we changed formation somewhere about that point, I think. Not formation, tactic. Not quite the same thing. The formation has stayed the same, but the tactic, we can't actually see when the tactic changed. It's annoying because the formation has never changed, but the tactic did change. I think it was probably around this kind of time. So we had a few defeats where we got used to it, and then you can see it's really picked up in terms of our form since then. So I'll be back in a second with our youth intake. I would imagine it may be, because I remember it was a bit late last year, so it may be around the Fidelis Andria or the Foggia game, and we may have that one of those games to finish it off, and then we'll review at that point. So I'll be back in a second. Right, before we move on to the youth intake, which is coming soon, I'm just going to mark this moment where I get my latest new contract. It's a 2-year contract. They actually don't even want me to make the playoffs this season, which I should do. We're going to get there. I think getting to the playoffs will continue to be pretty easy. The question is whether I can get promoted, and I want to get promoted well before they want me to get promoted, it seems. So this is a no-brainer. The only thing I'm going to see is if I can get a little bit more money to get a bit more job security and to get a 3-year contract. One or the other, perhaps. No, it looks like I'm going to get neither. No, they're going to play hardball with me. I'm not going to risk any more of that. That's going to be. I have a hard bargain. They didn't manage. I think I got 2,000 a year more out of them and no extra time. So that's a bit of a shame. We've got quite a few players who are going to be out of contract shortly. I will need to spend a bit of time working through, same with the staff, working through who I want to keep. I'm sure I will be keeping quite a few of those, but not necessarily all of them. I'm going to try and keep the upheaval from being too massive this summer, I think, because I don't think we're a million miles off. So yeah, new contract for 2 years, which is fantastic. We'll be back once the youth intake comes. So here we are with our new intake, and you can see already an elite talent in Francesco Rolla. You're seeing him exactly the same time I am, and goodness me, he's good. We have got a real player here. He's definitely a winger, without a shadow of a doubt. But God, he's fantastic. I don't know why he's natural. It's odd that he's natural there when his attributes are clearly right wing. I'm just going to do something I don't do enough that I need to do, and I can't do it yet because he hasn't actually signed. But goodness me, what a player he's going to be. Francesco Rolla. Remember the name. That's all I can say. Just feast your eyes on him. He looks fantastic, doesn't he? Just need to quickly do something. So here we have what I try and do is as a habit, just a little mark on each player, just so that when they come back later in the save and I can see them, I will know that they are players who came through our academy. Hopefully when they don't score against us, that's obviously the hope. But Francesco Rolla, I think this guy could be something quite special. Very, very exciting. So with that in mind, I am going to go straight to the first game he can play. We are playing today. He won't be able to play today because he hasn't yet got a contract. But as soon as he signs, the next game, I'm going to play him, and I will be back for that. So back in a second. Right, so here we go. We've got Catania at home. We are going to bring on Rolla. The slight frustrating thing is actually it's a position that we didn't really need. We've got Capani, who's been playing well there. De La Morte can play there. We've got Alvin Daniels, of course. Those two we now won't be renewing, I don't think. Capani, I was certainly thinking about trying to buy, but now I think it's probably unlikely, given that we've got Rolla coming in. We've got Daniels who can do a job there as well. But let's see how he does on his debut. Francesco Rolla, the first homegrown talent to play for us. What can he do? Keeping a close eye on him. Pinto has the ball for Catania. And they do take a shot, but it looks like... thought we'd cleared it, but we haven't. Oh, they're offside, so that's okay. We are under a bit of pressure in these early minutes. Try and wrest a bit of possession back from them. try and make a couple of attacks of ourselves, because at the moment we are not really in the game. We've had 3 shots, but none of them have been highlight worthy, so they can't have been that good. Di Matteo to Paolini. Deramo shoots. Crosses, sorry. And Rolla is there, 21 minutes or so into his debut, and he's got a goal. Francesco Rolla. Great header as well. Really good header in the back post there. That is terrific. Debut goal from the first homegrown youngster to play for us. That makes me very happy. Deramo now. Hopefully that positive thing for our future can rub off on the other players and we can have a good performance now. Let's see if he can put in a cross as well. He can. That's a good cross. And the Ultramarine heads it onto the bar. But I tell you what a first half hour from Francesco Rolla here. I thought he looked good when I first saw him, but I didn't think he'd necessarily be quite so effective in his first game. Ultramarine gets on the end of that again, but I think he might have hit the bar for a second time there. We are playing very well. Seems to have given us a bit of a spark, that Rolla goal. Rolla finds Alevi. Alevi, is it? Yeah, Aliovi, sorry. He's come into the scene quite recently, so I'm not used to him yet. But tell you what, Rolla, what a start he has made. It's not just the goal. It's a couple of really good crosses as well. He's looking like an absolute superstar. Rossini, though. Tonti collects that nicely. So, first half done. Let's try and really get another quick goal and then take charge. I'd like to see us win a game by 4 or 5 goals. I've done that for a while, and I just think for the confidence of the team, it would be useful. Long ball out from their goalkeeper, Dinardo. This is so simple. Oh my goodness, what is that defending? The absolute classic Route 1 goal, that. Pathetic. Absolutely pathetic. And all that really good work done in that first half, undone in one silly mistake. We've been playing so well as well. Let's get Castelli on. I'm going to try and go attacking because we deserve to win this game. There's no doubt in my mind about that. Let's get a couple of strikers on. Let's replace Trajkovic with Tahirovic. And let's see if we can get a late winner. But they're also looking for one. Goes wide that time though. I think at this stage it does look like 1-1 is probably about fair, but it'd be nice to just get that last minute winner again. Had a couple this season. Right. No, I thought that was going to be a promising attack for us, but it looks like it will be one for them instead. Rossini to Maldonado. Piccolo, and it's defended, and Tonti makes the save. Can we make one last chance to win this game, or are we going to see it fade from our grasp as they get a winner? Well, we've defended valiantly there and seen them off for the time being. 2 minutes left. Piccolo takes the corner and it's headed away. Rolla, the highlight ended rather abruptly there before Rolla could make anything happen. Vittorini to Goots. Time is probably up, but Paolini, yeah, time is up. I mean, it's not a disastrous result, but it's a shame after such a very, very good first half that we couldn't make them pay. First half we'd been by miles the better team, and then we didn't take a single shot in the second half. So I suppose on that basis we kind of, we deserved it really. Fantastic though to see Francesco Rolla coming on and breaking a record, the youngest player in the history of the league, let alone for our team. He is only 15 years old and he's already got a goal for Zafferana. I would be very surprised if that record ever gets broken. Obviously, we're going to break a lot of records in these first few years. But youngest goal scorer, 15 years, 218 days, I'd be very surprised if we ever break that. I really do. I'd be fairly surprised if he ever gets that record of youngest player broken, to be honest. I think that's probably unlikely. But certainly, I can't see him being overtaken as the youngest goal scorer. It's extremely unlikely. It's fantastic for Rolla, though. Really, really good. I do think this is one to watch. I think he could be really quite special. So let me know what you think about Rolla. I'm really excited about him. I think he could be really generational for us. I hope he can lead us to many, many glories. But do let me know what you think in the comments. And I will be back tomorrow. See you for now.